AM 630. WMAL.
737 on WMAL, where Washington comes to talk. It's Brian Wilson, Larry O'Connor in the house, and we are very pleased to be joined on the phone right now by Colonel Oliver North, a man who I came to know quite well during my time at the Fox News Channel. He had the office right next to mine.
Was that right?
Yeah, so Colonel North, how are you today?
Yeah, but the difference was, Larry, he's got with the leg room and the head room, he even had a window.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but no window in your office.
Let me tell you something. Just be lucky you had a wall between you, Colonel, because we have to share an office. You have no idea what I have to endure.
Wait a minute. Colonel North, it's a pleasure to have you on, and I asked that we reach out to you because I just think that you, of all people, would have a lot of insight. When you see all that's going on right now with the Petraeus matter, with the General Allen matter, and then when you see all of the stuff going on with regards to the investigation or lack thereof of what happened in Benghazi, I would imagine that you're a guy, given your practical experience on the ground in situations like that, who has some real understanding and insights that we might not have.
Well, yesterday I was asked by one of our colleagues over at Fox, you know General Petraeus, don't you? And I said, not as well as I thought I did.
Yeah.
Not as well as his wife thought he did. She did. I mean, and the same thing for Allen. I'm stunned, quite frankly, that this onion keeps getting peeled back, and the core is, the closer you get to the center of the core of it, the rottener it is. I'm not surprised this kind of thing happens. This is Washington. Washington is full of hypocrites and egomaniacs who think they can get away with anything, and we all know that. That's number one. Number two, the disastrous consequences of this for our foreign policy are writ large in the burial of 4 Americans who were butchered by terrorists on the night of 11/12 September. We still don't know all that needs to be known about this. And if you think about it, the sex scandals involving 2 very senior officers and all the rest of this rot is all because the administration couldn't get their story straight and truthful about what actually happened that night.
Let me stop you right there. What you're suggesting is that this is being thrown up as a diversionary tactic?
No. I think all this truly is peeling back the onion and people going, oh, my God, I didn't think this was going on. What I'm saying to you is I don't think that the Petraeus firing or quitting or whatever it is he did, or the discovery of these emails with General Allen, who I truly did think I knew far longer than Petraeus. I don't think any of that's a smokescreen. I think this is all the consequence of the rot that has gone on in Washington so long that people didn't pay attention to what was going on in Benghazi, not just the night of the 11th and 12th of September, but for months they haven't been paying attention.
Colonel North, what do you think of the reports that also happening in Benghazi, the CIA was in charge of or overseeing a detention center for terrorists, which was in direct violation of what President Obama ran on and signed the moment he became president?
Well, I don't believe it. I think that's a fiction made up by one of these women that's been involved with the generals. What was somebody called it yesterday? Sex and the Stars, the new TV show. One of the women, I've forgotten which one it was.
Paula Broadwell.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Broadwell, the quote biographer, right? Wow. I'm trying to put out.
Yeah. Do you have a biographer, Colonel North?
No, I don't. Yeah, me.
Yeah.
I'm it.
Well, you know, in the late
me and a video game company called Activision, which has just released a brand new, in fact, the world's most successful launch of a product ever, a video game called Call of Duty Black Ops 2, which it turns out both General Petraeus and I are in. Now, I helped write the scenario for it. I have promoted it. I've been participating in it for some time. I did not know that he was in the video game. I knew I was in it. And by the way, for the benefit of all those lawyers out there listening, all of the people with whom I work at Fox News and my publishing company all knew it. Everybody's kind of trying to remember that now, but I've got pieces of paper that say they all knew it.
All right.
So, nobody knew that Petraeus is in it. I don't think any of that's the cover-up. I think what the cover-up is the incompetence, as I say, the rot that has been going on in Washington for so long that Benghazi was cast off into the far distant horizon and no one was paying attention.
So as you look at all this stuff that happened, and let's just focus. Put aside the generals and the pretty women and the tabloid headlines from away. Focus on what happened in Benghazi. I mean, you've read the timeline, you've read the scenario, you've gotten a good sense of what happened there. What is your sense about what happened and what went wrong there?
Here's the short form. Benghazi was the nexus of the whole movement to overthrow Gaddafi. Everybody knew that there were radical Islamists. We keep calling them erroneously Al-Qaeda. There were lots of radical Islamists involved in that, and the greater the momentum that occurred, the more their involvement was. And so there was an effort made by establishing a consulate and a CIA base out there to get some kind of control over the Islamist side of this thing, the radical Islamist side that people erroneously call Al-Qaeda. That's the element that was eventually given a contract to guard our consulate. It's unbelievable as it may seem. And they're the ones that decided, by golly, 11th September, wonderful anniversary time. We've had requests from people out there in Pakistan to do something to remember one of our great Al-Qaeda leaders, al-Libi, who was killed by a drone strike a week or so before. Let's just use the 11th as an anniversary date to rise up, and because the military attack that went down that night was.
But shouldn't our officials have seen that coming? If it was that simple.
Well, here's another question everybody needs to ask: why was our ambassador sent there or allowed to go there on the day of an anniversary that is going to inflame the Middle East? I mean, every radical mosque in the world was up preaching about the United States, death to the great Satan, on the 11th of September. They will for eternity, right? Because it's the anniversary of 9/11. Why was he there instead of being at his embassy 400 miles away?
Yeah.
And why didn't anybody think, gee, we need a quick reaction force, and about an hour away, just didn't think, and of course, things go belly up. But as I say, the rot in Washington contributes to this malaise of we're not going to pay attention. We didn't prepare for this. We're not going to put forces in place to react to it if it happens. And oh gosh darn, look at this mess. We're now watching it happen live from an unmanned aerial vehicle and from sensors on the ground out there. A doggone disaster. And now Zawahiri and those guys are using that for propaganda.
Yes, they are. Well, Colonel North, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you taking some time to be with us today.
Always like to be with you, Ken.
Hey, will you come back and talk about your book, Heroes Proof, when it opens? Great.
Yes, we will.
All right. Thank you, Colonel North. We appreciate it. Yeah, thank you. I always think that, when you've actually been on the ground in situations not too far unlike what's going on and what was going on in Benghazi, that you have a different perspective. And that's very much why I wanted Colonel North to come on.
Great to hear.